All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a top rope exclusive. I guess you want to call this. I am, as you probably know by now, the lunatic fringe of podcasting, the South Philly psycho, Dom, and I am joined by my main man these days. He's the co-host of the Sports Syndicate podcast. He is the man behind the Universal Wrestling podcast. He is the one and only Nick. What's going on, bro? How you doing tonight?
Good, man. Doing really well. I love early pay-per-views. I think that was my favorite part of the show today was the start time.
Right, the start time's great. I don't know about Saudi shows, but the start time is wonderful.
What was great about it too is my wife was out all day, so like I didn't have to, you know, you know how it is.
No,
I had
same.
I had the house to myself, so it was really nice.
No, same here. It was just my kid and I. My wife was at work, and he wanted to
Clutch.
watch it. I was like, "All right, dude, here we go."
Can't
So
get any
since I
better than that.
watched it, since Nick watched it, we're here to do a nice little review wrap up show of today's Elimination Chamber event. And
Yes, sir.
usually at a time like this, here at Top Rope, after a pay per view, we like to do a little something called the good, the bad, and the ugly. The ugly. Well, we just go through, tell you what we thought about certain things, give
Yeah.
you an overview of the show and sign the fuck off. So let's start, shall we? Um,
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Nick, give me and it could be multiples, but I'll let you start. Give me your good from Elimination
Yeah.
Chamber.
I guess I just want to start off by saying, from a storyline standpoint, each match and each winner made sense.
Hmm.
And each match, like it made sense. There was a purpose. I just don't have to. There he is, Clark
There's Devin.
Street Wrestling.
Yes.
What I'm trying to say is each match made sense. Each match had a purpose. I understood why Ray won. I understood why certain people won the matches, but I still don't have to like the outcome. I can still support it and watch it. I'm off my soapbox. I'm sorry. The
No,
good.
no, get on it.
It's just I see it all over Twitter today. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I support it. I can watch it. If I don't want to watch it, then I won't. But I don't know. That's just me. But the good, I really love the Mysterio match, the pre-show match. That was
Yeah.
awesome. That was really good. I don't know. I feel like even though Ray is a legend, the Miz is still doing what the Miz does. He still helps to put over storylines. And as long as we wanted this Ray and Dominic storyline to go, I don't know where it's going to end, but I know that Miz is going to make it better. Now the whole thing with the tag team partner, I really don't want to guess here. I'm hoping it's don't say his name. Don't say his name. I don't want to see a TikTok star. I don't want to see Logan Paul. I don't want to see Steve-O. I don't know who it is. I just want it to be a wrestler. I want it to be somebody other than a celebrity. But I think this is going to lead up to Mania, so it would only make sense. Mania star power, give them,
Yeah.
a D-rated celebrity.
Well, we know it won't be John Morrison, that's for sure. But yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of people like just looking at tweets and stuff after the fact. A lot of people were saying that pre-show match with Ray and the Miz was maybe the best match on the entire card, and I was like, well, of course, because Ray is Ray and the Miz
yeah,
is, well, we all know by now.
yeah.
Awesome.
There
So
you
there is
go.
that.
There you
Um,
go.
I say my good from this chamber pay-per-view in Saudi was probably the women's chamber match.
Yeah. I
Like
thought, go ahead.
their match was better than the men's.
Hmm.
Like by far better. And I know, Devin, this is a huge surprise. I don't usually do this, but we figured, fuck it, why not? We both watched it.
Yeah.
So um but it was just, they had let the mystery out of the bag and said Alexa Bliss was going to be,
Yeah.
the final entrant, and I was like, okay, it's a little weird that you would do it before the show, and
She looked
then
great.
then you'd clear her through therapy, and she didn't change one bit. So there was a waste of time there. But you're right. When she got in the ring, she looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And I mean, just some of the spots and things were brutal. And shout out to them bodysuits too, man.
I was about to say they look good today, man. I loved it.
Oh, Max in the building. I love this guy. He said Becky and Lita was pretty good, and it damn sure was. And there was a point, considering it was Saudi, when Lita hit that moonsault, and I thought, oh shit, it's over. And Becky kicked out. I was like, oh.
Yeah. You know what I also dug too about the women's chamber match? I feel like everything had a purpose. Again, I brought that up in the beginning, but it just seemed like every part of that match, there was always a spot that just made sense. Now with the men's match, Brock breaking the door, eliminating, it's like, what? Who? What? Why?
Yeah.
This one, even though it was a little slower, and that's come to be, a normal thing with women's matches, when it's like one-on-one, when it's like more than one, maybe it's a 3-on-3 or a rumble. Like it just seems, I don't know if it's just me, but it just seems like the pace is a little slower. It's not a bad thing. I'm not complaining. I'm saying this is a good of my good, bad, and the ugly. This is a good part of the chamber match. Maybe matches need to be a little more slower because it just, like you said, the match was good. I mean, the winner.
Oh, yeah.
I even thought, I think we all knew Blair was going to win this one. Rightfully so, too. I mean, you could have thought maybe Rhea, maybe Bliss, but it just didn't make sense for the booking, the storyline booking for Mania. So I'm happy with Blair.
I mean, we already saw Clark Street in the building. I remember saying before they announced the mystery entrant on Raw, whoever the mystery entrant is will probably win because everybody else in this match has already lost to Becky at least once.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when it was announced as Alexa Bliss, I was like, are they really going to let her come back and win that chamber match? And it was like, nah. So at that point, it had to be Bianca. And it was. And she put on a hell of a show, too. Like, Bianca Belair has always been a star. They've just kind of pushed her back down the card a little bit since SummerSlam.
Yeah, and Bliss, I feel like, was just there for a name purpose, and it was good to see her too. I mean, like I said, she looked good. I don't think she missed a step. I think she needs to be more in the ring than these backstage promos and the whole therapist.
Oh, definitely.
I just didn't get it. I still don't get it. Like you said, it was
I don't either.
Quick. Yeah.
Like the last one, they were like, "Well, you're cured," and I was like, "Wait, nothing changed."
Yeah.
How is she cured? Like she's still obsessed with the doll. She's still dressed the same. She still acts the same.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
And I guess another good too. And it just seems like both matches. I mean, the match at day one was great, and the match here tonight, Falls Count Anywhere, Moss and Drew. I loved it. I really did. I did not think I would like this. I thought it was another filler. I do still think that Drew needs to be elevated, but I understand why he's going one-on-one with Moss to get him over. And he got him over a little too far, landed on his head.
Yeah, that one spot. That was going to be my ugly. Like that landing in his neck. I was like, oh.
But you can't always be on top, so I get it. But I'm just a big Drew fan. I like it. I think it was a smart decision to put him in this feud. Do I want to see it at Mania? No. But I do like that, Moss, from his underground, from NXT to the underground days, now he's going one-on-one with Drew. It's like, why? It's because they have faith in him. And I love it. Just like, with Theory. I mean, he did he was F5 off the pod, but still, there was there was a reason and a purpose for that. So I got a lot of goods. I got a lot of bads, but that's just the fan in me. I'm gonna still support it. I'm gonna still complain, and that's it. So deal with it.
I hear you. Like it's that adage of like, if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. If you didn't watch, then you don't have a right to complain. And I did. So before you judge us, did you watch
it? Yep.
I'm just going to leave that out there as like a PSA for the rest of the stream. Like, before you get too harsh, did you watch it?
What about you? You got any more goods?
Oh man, I'm thinking about it because you covered a lot of, but oh man, let's see. I
What about the USO match? Oh wait, they're broken. Damn.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, that one would fall in the bad category, but
Yeah.
no, I definitely. I mean,
Not the payday. I would have done that too. I would have flew all the way to Saudi to be in that 10
I
second segment.
but I enjoyed the hell out of Bliss's comeback. That's definitely a good. Um, it's nice to see AJ Styles being AJ Styles again, even if he doesn't win. Like he's on he looks like, at least performance wise, that he's back to that level he was when he became WWE champion in the first place.
Yeah.
Whereas before, he's running with Omos, or he's got the club, or OC Orange County, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
It was nice to see him actually look like himself.
Yeah.
Because as he gets older, you start to think, okay, well, maybe he doesn't have it anymore. And then you watch him lately, you watch that chamber match, and you saw the stuff that he was pulling off, and you thought, okay, it's still AJ. It's still AJ. That was a good thing.
I know I'm all over the place here, but I think I discussed it with the chamber match for the women's, the pace. I think Roman's pace for Goldberg was perfect. I think that's the kind of pace you got to go with an old timer. And obviously the match wasn't great, but it was better than, putting Taker on his head or getting 3 concussions in a match. So as much as it made no sense, and people say Goldberg's getting him over, this is the match he needs. He doesn't need it. He could have took the Sami, Zayn way and just didn't even perform. But they need Roman, so I understand that. And I get it too, business related. It was his last, appearance for the contract. So I get it. But again, I'm complaining, but it's a good thing. It's a good that Roman was able to have a decent pace with Goldberg, make him look pretty good. I mean,
keep that match short.
If that was Goldberg's last match, I don't think it's that bad. I would prefer to have that than lose at WrestleMania against Corbin,
Oh, no, absolutely. And Chris, how do you get out of the habit of watching us? Thank you for coming back. We miss you watching us. We really do. We pay attention to these numbers. Where the hell have you been?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, he's non-WWE guy, but he's watching the Chamber prediction. So, man, thank you.
No, Chris is great. He loves everything we do. Yeah. F5 from the top of the chamber was nuts. That was another good, too. Because I'm not the biggest Austin Theory fan on the face of the earth. What? And to see Brock just send him flying off top of that pod, just
I thought he was going to land in the ring.
In the ring? No, right on that grating, man.
The padding that's in the chamber makes a lot of sense.
Well, they had to safen it up since its inception 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's crazy that shit like the Elimination Chamber and Impact Wrestling are 20 years old at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Have I been around that long? Shit.
And I think that's really it for me with the good. I mean, I don't think hold on. I don't think we discussed the women's championship match. We both said that was good, right?
We did a little bit because I think Mac had said, the matchup itself was pretty good, and
Lita surprised the hell out of me.
I was going to say that it really was surprising to see Lita come out and be that sharp and put on a show like that, and it honestly had me fooled for a minute. Like, oh my god, she won this shit, and then Becky kicked out, but. Yeah. It really impressed the hell out of me to see Lita, who had an appearance in the Rumble, a couple appearances on television, come into a situation like that and perform the way that she did. Like, that woman is a legend. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, she
is an absolute legend. I think every time I see Devin post a comment, it reminds me of it. I said on Clark Street that it was one day. I'm going out to my mailbox, and a couple of the kids in my neighborhood are like coming home off the bus from high school, and they're talking about Lita showing up on Raw to confront Becky, and they're like, man, I don't know who she was, but she was hot. I was like, you have no fucking clue. Yeah. If you think she's hot now, you need to go back to Team Extreme days and take a look at that. You have Peacock, right? Go look.
And I was, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I thought she put on What do we got? Uh-oh.
I think you're confused between complaining and critiquing, Nick, because you're not complaining. I agree with Devin.
Yeah. Cheers to that. I ain't complaining.
It's a review. We're gonna
Yeah.
drop our thoughts on it. We're gonna critique it. We're gonna,
Yeah.
give out attaboys like we're doing with Lito. And there might be a few things that I bash. I'm not gonna lie, but we're
Hey.
just trying to give you the fair assessment of the goddamn thing.
Yes. Devin, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Because I don't care whether it's Top Rope or the Universal Wrestling Podcast. We don't just suck up to a promotion. Like, if WWE does something stupid, we're gonna call them on it. If AEW does something stupid, we're gonna call them on that.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, Lita. I wouldn't say this about Goldberg, but I would want to. I would pay to see another match with Lita. I would think. I don't know who would be against, but I thought it was great. And again, the whole pace with Lita and Lynch made sense. You know,
it did. It did. Like, it kept the match exciting, but it also kept things a little easier on Lita, which is obviously what was necessary, considering she hasn't really been a performer in years. So it made for a better match. Now, if we're transitioning into bad, I'm with you on the storylines parts, but some of this booking was just nonsensical as hell.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Put Goldberg in a ring with Roman Reigns. The last time I saw Goldberg, he was off location getting interviewed, saying he was going to kill Bobby Lashley and getting into a pickup truck because Bobby Lashley had an MVP, had beat up his kid at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So he comes back and he's going to have a match at Elimination Chamber. So who does he confront? Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
What happened to Bobby? Weren't you going to kill him? Like, what? Where did all that go? Are we just supposed to forget about your television show? I don't understand. Like, you expect me to watch this shit every week and you don't keep up with it?
Yeah, I mean, you have a point there. I'm not sure what happened. I feel like that storyline kind of ended, though, right? Or no, it just continued because there was nothing.
It had continued after the fact because I don't know if it was work or not, but Goldberg in the match had a knee injury, and they said he couldn't come back. And they caught up to him, like, leaving someplace in real life. And they asked him about Bobby Lashley. And he said, all I know is I'll be back, and when I come back, I'm going to kill Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Flat out, verbatim.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he did come back, he goes to Roman Reigns, and then they start talking about this match from WrestleMania that was put off. It's like, okay, but you still had a match, and you said you were going to kill Bobby. Yeah. So how do we get here? And even the build to it a little bit when he was, on SmackDown talking about, I should have beat Roman 15 years ago. Like, Roman wasn't around 15 years ago, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't get what you're doing. And Michael Cole bringing up, well, he had an undefeated streak of 170. I was like, dude, that was in 1999. Are we still talking about this?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
And then the last thing that got me on this particular match was Goldberg saying, and I quote, "At Elimination Chamber, you're going to see the real Goldberg." And the real Goldberg got put to sleep in the middle of a ring by Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
So now we know who Goldberg really is, apparently, the guy who goes to sleep.
Yeah, I get it. It helped.
Thank you, Mac. I appreciate that, homie.
What point was it?
The stuff about Roman and Bill and Bobby and all that.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely bad for me. I didn't enjoy the match. I don't get the reason why Goldberg.
I mean, a lot of the matches, the storytelling in them was good, but like the booking and then the follow-up for some of them was just like, I'm sitting here scratching my head like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is why I don't watch Raw every week, because this is the type of shit that happens, and then they just forget about it and move on.
Yeah. And I guess where I was coming from is Brock versus Goldberg. If you can't change it, Roman versus Goldberg. You can't change it. You're just a fan. You're just watching. It made sense. There was a purpose. There was a reason why Roman went over. So I get that. I'm with you, though. I don't know. Can't Goldberg go to NXT 2.0 and do what Ziggler did, try and get somebody over like that? I feel like that would have more of an impact than
it would
one-on-one with the Universal Champion. It just...
It's just every
yeah,
time Goldberg comes back, he's got to get into a title match,
yeah,
and he hasn't won 4 or 5 of these title matches in a row. But every time he comes back, he has to be going for a title, and they put him in a title match.
yeah,
And I'm thinking, something like you're thinking, like, can't you just go to NXT and try to give somebody a rub, or can't you do the Sting thing where you just show up and fight because you were legendary in that town, like show up
yeah,
when they go to Atlanta or something like that and have a match
yeah,
because you played for the Falcons and you
yeah,
had all that success at WCW. You beat Hulk Hogan in Atlanta, that sort of thing.
yeah,
But it's always got to be a title match.
yeah,
I don't get that. Like every time. Meanwhile, Sting's been in AEW for like a year plus, almost 2. Not one title match.
yeah. Very true. Very true. I think my other bad, and this may be on this, on the border of ugly. It had to be the Viking Raiders and the Usos.
I'm with you on
I
that
even
one.
said it on my prediction show when we had it on the Universal Wrestling Podcast. I even said like this is going to be one of the best matches of the night.
Yeah.
And look what we got. We didn't even
And
get
it
it.
was and it was unlike Roman and Goldberg, this one was like properly built. These two were trading promos, they were jumping each other, one would get the best of the other would come back.
Yep.
And if anything, worst case scenario, it's bad for the live crowd because this is what they expected, and they probably saw this build up and everything else, and
Yeah.
they were all stoked for this match, and all of a sudden, like Usos come in with the sneaky jump the
Yeah.
Raiders, match is called off, and they're like, but you literally come here twice a year. We can't see what you had planned.
Yeah. I wonder if like a match went too long. Because I feel like
I don't know.
these guys would tear down the house, right? Like I even said it
You would think, yeah.
on my podcast. Like any match the Usos are in is amazing. Then you team them up, go 1-on-1 with the Viking Raiders. I mean, it's good shit. I'm just disappointed that we didn't see it again. I understand why they had to cut it off. I get it. I understand, but I doesn't mean
I
I
was
have to like it.
I honestly sat there and I thought to myself, like, did you guys not plan to show that whole Undertaker tribute with Metallica in the background and all
Which
that?
was
And then you just had
awesome.
to, because it was right before the tag title match. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden that match didn't happen. And I was thinking, like, was that unplanned? You just put that in
Yeah.
randomly after a match and you were like, oh shit, we're short on time. Cancel this one. Fuck it.
Yeah. I think that started
I didn't
around like
understand.
2 o'clock too. Like they made their entrances at like 2 o'clock. And I
Yeah.
even thought to myself, are they really going to do this? Maybe it's going to be a short 1, 2, 3, but they just nicked it.
World Tag Team Champions, baby. Dominic got what it takes to take what you got, like 2 peas in a pot. And the peas would be just jumping if the water wasn't hot.
There you go.
Oh, what's up, Manny? I love you, dude.
2 peas in a pod.
That's us. 2 weird peas in a nasty pod.
Yeah. I ain't fucking complaining. I'm critiquing. Get it straight.
Exactly. Yeah, the other bad was like the men's chamber match was okay. Again, I thought the women's was better, but just eliminating Bobby Lashley before he even got out of the freaking pod was a
Yeah.
bad look. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not saying anything that people don't know. We saw how Kofi's title run ended. We saw how Biggie kind of got a lackluster reign. We saw how Bianca's ended. Now all of a sudden, Bobby doesn't even get a chance to get out of a pod and defend his title. He's just injured when, who was it? Austin Theory got power bombed through the pod and he hit
Yeah.
his head. And they started talking about concussion protocol. And I'm thinking, since when was that even a thing in WWE?
Yeah. When it needed to be.
And that in itself is bad because if that's a work,
Yeah.
like if he wasn't generally concussed or held back, if that's just an angle that you were running to get him out of the match and get Brock to win without him ever touching Bobby,
Yeah.
that's a bad, borderline ugly fucking look in this day and age with everything that the NFL is doing, with everything that other sports are doing to, help and prevent concussions. For you to do this just because, it's part of the story, that would be fucking horrible.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't understand why they even have that happen in the match. Like, why not just have him lose? Like, that's better than getting smashed by, Theory, and then, oh, he has a concussion. It's like,
Yeah,
just let the grown ass man lose. It won't hurt him as bad as this. I think this was not good. I don't think this is what should have happened. I think he should have, got eliminated. 1, 2, 3, something like that. I mean,
right. And I
I,
think you might have saw like the popular reaction to it was, oh well, now he's going to go after Seth because Seth cost him the title. But at the same time, don't you think he deserves a shot at
maybe
at
that,
least Brock for his championship since he technically never got in the match to defend it?
yeah,
And why was he there in the first place? Like every other year, Royal Rumble winner picks a champion, and then they have an Elimination Chamber match, and whoever wins is the number one contender at WrestleMania. And this year, we got to have Bobby in it.
yeah, yeah. And I'll go back to what I said, like the storyline wise. Like, I understood why they did it. I understand why they put the title back on Brock the first time, or I had him win the first time, but the second time, it's like, what? Why? I think if they're going to do anything, it's going to be a triple threat. I don't want to see back-to-back triple threats at
That's what
Mania.
I was. That's what I was thinking. Watch this. Watch this match at WrestleMania end up being Lesnar versus Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. Winner takes all.
Yeah, but that just sucks for Seth. Like, I rather see Bobby versus Seth as much as it means absolutely nothing. I mean,
I
I don't
would
know.
too, but that's what they kind of left Seth out in the cold after an amazing match and everything at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
He just gets one F5 from Brock Lesnar and he's done. And this was the Beast Slayer. Anybody remember that? This is the
yeah,
guy that beat Brock on multiple occasions
yeah,
and just nope, you're done. F5, get out.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was like, at least he got a chance to get his hands on Brock Lesnar, so he wasn't done as dirty as Bobby Lashley, but
yeah,
he was still done kind of dirty too. So there were some good moments in that Elimination Chamber, but there were some bad moments too, and
yeah,
those are just a couple examples.
yeah. No, I agree. I think that was it's just disappointing to see your champion, that Bobby Lashley was the champion walking into the chamber, and that happened again. I rather see something else happen. I rather see him get pinned, maybe not a submission, but I don't know, just disappointing. It's just like, uh, why this? It just doesn't make sense.
Oh shit! It just dawned on me. I got to jump back to the good for 1 second.
Let's hear
Uh,
it.
there were some people out there who said their piece about this, but the fact that the Elimination Chamber event in Saudi had so many women's matches on it is absolutely groundbreaking. Like
Yeah,
that has to be a good thing.
yeah,
You had the women's title match, you had the women's chamber match, you even had that weird tag team match. That was going to be one of my bads too, making Ronda Rousey tie one arm behind her back and take on
yeah,
Sonya and Charlotte with Naomi in her corner. I was like,
yeah,
what? You're going to make all this history with women and then you're going to tie a woman's arm behind her back? Like
yeah,
that, you're taking away from your own good.
yeah. I think you might be thinking too much into that one, but
Not really. Like
eh,
Ronda Rousey's the baddest woman on the planet, and you're going to bring her to Saudi, and then you're going to tie an arm behind her back.
yeah, and still win.
And
That's
the fact that she still won was impressive as hell.
by a
But
submission too. It's like, I saw that coming.
it just felt very hokey, very like 90s WWE pre-attitude era. Like
Yeah,
what's up next? A blindfold match? Like what are we doing?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That is great. I mean, progress is progress, no matter who is in it or what company
Oh no, I agree. I'm just
or
saying, don't
what.
fuck up your own progress. We've
Yeah,
already seen that happen with the women's revolution over the last few years.
yeah,
Let's not take it any further.
yeah, yeah. It is progress as much as it is in Saudi, and they have to wear bodysuits. It's still it's cool to
Again,
see. Yeah,
I'm not mad at those bodysuits, man.
no,
Like Rhea and Liv look damn good in them bodysuits.
yeah, yeah.
Whew.
I was hoping Ronda was going to be in one, but I get why she was in the karate suit.
Yeah, the one she won gold in the
Yeah,
judo competition. Yeah, I
and
get that too.
that was like, okay, well, she's going to submit Sonya. That's exactly what I thought when I saw her in that karate suit.
Right?
It's like, okay, well, no.
Even Sonya looked pretty good in her bodysuit. I was like, wow.
Yeah, yep. Too
I mean, don't
bad.
get me wrong, guys. These women are great wrestlers. I respect the hell out of them. I love women's wrestling, but at the same time, I'm a dude. So I'm just giving you my dude take at the
Yeah,
same time as I'm giving you it's I'm a married man. I love women. I'm just saying, don't take my compliment as some type of
yeah.
misogyny. That's all.
I love Charlotte. Looked good too. If we're gonna go there, yeah.
Okay.
Naomi was looking good, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you doing?
Naomi would look good in a fucking brown paper bag, like burlap sack, you name it. She looked good in
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean and I think somebody brought this up during the chamber where like and it's a running thing. It's not just the chamber, but like somebody said, Riddick Moss could be a star if it weren't for this goofball gimmick that he's got going. And that's the point. Is that like Vince McMahon believes the goofball gimmick is going to make him a star? That's just bad.
yeah. But I'll counter that and say it's keeping him relevant, which is nice to see. He's on TV, just like the 24/7 championship. As much as you hate it, you see Tamina. She's on TV. You got to fill 3 hours, you
Yeah,
know?
it gives these people something to do. So
Yeah,
there's that. But it's
yeah.
just like I feel like
Stop complaining.
Madcap Moss and Nikki Ash are just goofball gimmicks for the sake of it.
Yeah. I
Because
don't even
like,
think Nikki's
what the fuck is Nikki doing now? Like, she was a hero. Now she's what? Like almost a supervillain? Is she ASV?
I don't know. I think they felt comfortable with giving her the opportunity to pick this gimmick and see if it's going to work. And they did push her. I mean, she was a champion. But me being, I think I said this when she first began, when she first started this gimmick. I said,
Right.
when I was younger, I loved Hurricane Helms. But at 38 or 31 years old, like, I could do
Yeah.
without it. Yeah, I loved
With
it when I
the
was younger. I loved the whole sound effects. When he was
oh
jumping
yeah,
in.
the
Yeah, I loved it. It was really good. But I'm
that's the
31. I just don't. I
I
don't care
just
for it.
I feel like the superhero gimmick in wrestling has just outlived its usefulness. There
Yeah.
you had the Hurricane, you had Mighty Molly, and all that. Eventually, you had what was his name? Rosie as the superhero in
Shit.
training.
Yeah.
He was literally the shit.
Yeah.
and that kind of killed it in itself because you took this guy who was part of the Samoan dynasty, you dressed him up in regular clothes, and you put a hamburglar mask on him, and now he was a superhero.
Yeah.
And that kind of killed it. And then Nikki Ash kind of revitalized the superhero in training gimmick, and that wasn't good to begin with. So I
No.
just had so many. That was my original take when she did it,
Yeah.
and everybody said, "Well, it was her idea," and I'm like, "Okay, that's wonderful, but was it her idea because she wanted to do it, or was it
Yeah.
her idea because Vincent just fired her boyfriend and she thought I got to come up with something goofy to keep my job?"
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they had enough faith to say yes, so you can do it.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because if it's goofball, Vince McMahon's like, "Oh, such good shit." Yeah.
I got another good, and I don't think you're gonna like this, but I really liked Theory's performance. As much as I thought it was kind of weird for him to get F5'd off the pod, I think he did a good job. I liked it.
No, I'm not. I know I said I'm not the biggest fan of Austin Theory, but he
Yeah.
actually did well in the chamber.
Yeah. What do we
And
got?
there is no way that's Michael P.S. Hayes.
Oh, yes. Hell yeah.
Hi, Michael. I'm Jimmy Garvin. Remember me?
Man, we got all the celebrities tonight.
I know. Everybody shows up for this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got the man from Bad Street, USA, right here in the live chat, folks. Get your questions in for P.S. Hayes.
You know what I thought was pretty funny too? I don't know if this is considered a good take, but Brock Lesnar, when he was walking in, each component or each opponent, I guess each competitor, excuse me, was they went to each chamber and they stared at the competitor.
Mm-hmm.
He ignored Riddle. I thought that was hilarious.
No, I've been saying that since he's, gotten in arm's reach of Matt Riddle at the Royal Rumble. Like every time he's either going to ignore this dude or kick his fucking ass. Because they had that run in, I believe it was in Saudi last year,
Yeah,
and it did not go well, and Brock had to be, restrained.
yeah,
And so now all of a sudden he gets put in these matches with Matt Riddle, and he's like, oh,
yeah, yeah.
you done fucked up now, stoner boy.
Did, did Brock eliminate everybody? So he pinned
Almost.
Riddle?
I think Seth Rollins might have eliminated one, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
and then Brock eliminated everybody else.
Yeah. That's a bad, but that's more than a
I
bad.
mean, if
That's
you want to get technical, Seth took Bobby Lashley out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll save that for the ugly. But yeah, I mean, I don't really think I have any more bad. I mean,
I'm trying to think about. I don't think I do either.
yeah,
So we can get it. We can get into the ugly, and that was going to be, the tag team match getting canceled. It felt bad for people watching. It kind of felt ugly for the crowd in attendance
yeah, yeah. I
because
don't
they
think.
seemed to be pretty hype when the Raiders were coming down the ramp, and
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, like a hush fell over the crowd when they got their ass kicked, and then the match didn't happen, and you could see in the crowd people just kind of like,
yeah,
huh, what?
yeah,
No, like no ring.
yeah. You know, it was great too. I don't know if it's just because we watch uh, the WWE and AEW like American products, but anytime they go overseas, it's just like their crowds are just so much better. I don't know. It's because maybe it's because they just don't get it as often, like live events.
Yeah.
But even the Saudi, I don't even know what to call them. Like they're non whatever. The other countries just seem like they enjoy it a little more.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you really stop and think about it, and even I know in pandemic this changed, but when you stop and think about it,
Yeah,
WWE tour, wrestling companies here tour the United States like all year long, and then they go usually on some kind of foreign tour, maybe
yeah,
here and there. So we kind of get
yeah,
used to it because it's just there. But these people don't have it. And so when it comes in, it's a huge deal. Like if they say
yeah,
WWE is coming to Philly, you're like, oh, I might go. Let me see what the card's like. But if you're in Saudi and
yeah.
they're like, oh, we're
Once
coming
every
through,
yeah,
you're like, holy shit, this only happens twice a year. I gotta go.
yeah. But it makes the
Like
matches
if
so
you're in Jeddah, you want to go.
yeah, yeah, makes the matches so much better. But did you give your ugly take yet? I mean, I guess we have a few, but you're
There are
yeah,
a few,
yeah,
and I am still worried about Riddick Moss. That spot
yeah.
was ugly.
I don't
Like I
know if he
know
was trying to do a flip, like
I don't know.
a sunset flip, but it didn't happen. It
It
was
was just and Corey's thing after it about Moss playing in the NFL and doing neck exercises, that felt kind of ugly too. It was like,
yeah,
oh dude, don't.
yeah. He sometimes goes a little too far.
That's cringy too, man. You can
Yeah,
stop right there.
yeah,
Why didn't they bring Pat McAfee? Why do we have you?
yeah, yeah. You can tell too, like when it's a serious injury, like you can even hear Michael Cole go, "Oh," like yeah, obviously we know because we watch a lot of wrestling, so we know when it's not fake or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess my other ugly, and this is really ugly.
Hmm.
Lesnar eliminating Styles and Seth like it was not a big deal. It's like what are you doing? As much as I understand, it's just a quick elimination and it won't hurt them. I get that point of view. I understand it, but for me, it's like, come on, you got to do something else. You got to do something else. I don't know what they do. Do they sit and they say in the creative writing team or whatever? Did they just sit and say quick elimination by Seth and AJ is a good idea? Like I don't know, but I don't like it.
I don't know. With WWE pay-per-views, because again, if you haven't heard this already, I refuse to say premium live event. Like the Royal Rumble, they had changed the outcome of those matches during the show on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
And when you were watching it, you could tell. And it almost felt as if they were doing it again today at the Elimination Chamber. Like, you know what? We're pressed for time now for whatever reasons. So we're just going to get AJ and Seth eliminated with the quickness, and we're going to get it down to this, and we're going to take Bobby out. Fuck that. And we're just going to have whatever we can have in the time that we have left.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of it. I mean, again, I understand it. I get it. Let's make quick work. Let's make, let's make Brock look, powerful. And it did. Let's be honest. It made him look like he is the WWE champion. And I get it.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't help Lashley. It doesn't help Styles. It doesn't. Yeah. But then again, if you think about it, does it really hurt them?
AJ, not so much, because he's
not as relevant as Seth right now.
Yeah, I mean, Seth was scorching fucking hot coming out of the Royal Rumble, so it hurts the hell out of him. AJ, on the other hand, was kind of on the come up, chased to the chamber, and so taking the loss hurts, but not nearly as much. Like, getting eliminated like that hurts, but not nearly as much as Seth.
Yeah, and I guess, I understand why they did the big spot with Theory. He's young, so he can take that kind of bump. But that's the kind of bump, or that's the kind of spot I'd rather see Seth and AJ in. Have a big spot, so there's a good reason why he was eliminated. But if you give him a few F5s and you eliminate him quickly, it's like, oh, man, come on. But again,
it was one. Yeah. One. Yeah. And even Ref Amy loved that Brock and Theory spot at the end there. And yes, it's 3 nights in a row, Amy. I know you're probably sick and tired of my face, but I'm glad you're back.
Yeah. I'll do you one better. This is my 5th straight night.
Shout out to the Rewind Wrestling Network. And of course, Clark Street, because Devin's still in here commenting. But I love this one. Best wrestling show in all of Kazakhstan. Thank you. I don't think I've ever seen a comment like that before in these live streams, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think we brought this up.
You guys don't think Bobby will be added to the? No, I said that, Devin. I could see that match becoming a triple threat, winner takes all. Because a lot of people were talking about, Bobby's going to go after Seth, and they're going to have a match in WrestleMania because Seth technically took him out, but Bobby lost his title without even being involved.
Yeah.
So if that don't get you a rematch,
exactly,
I don't know what does.
Yeah.
So he'll probably get penciled into that match, and it'll end up becoming a title unifier, at WrestleMania between those three.
Yeah. But wouldn't it make more sense if you got F5 6 times? Wouldn't that protect them more than a powerbomb?
Wouldn't it just make sense that since you finally put Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar in the same ring, you just let them fucking fight?
Yeah.
Like Roman and Paul at the Royal Rumble. Now this shit. Can we just because that's kind of ugly for me. That's one of those matches that I've always talked about. Like, I want to see Bobby and Brock. I want to see Bobby and Brock.
And the first one was so good.
The match at Rumble was amazing until the swerve and the fuckery and everything else. And honestly, I don't even know why it needed to happen if Brock was just going to take the title back at the Chamber anyway.
Yeah. Well, I think the key word is protect. Again, I don't know if that is the right word or the right term for this, because it just back-to-back losses and the way he lost, it's like, I don't know.
But it would have been this would have been like the perfect time for Lashley and Lesnar to basically eliminate everyone around them.
Yeah.
And then just have that face off in the middle of the chamber, no interference, best guy wins, moves on to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then the way it ended up actually playing out in that aspect was pretty fucking ugly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I did enjoy Brock's performance. I love the F5 spot, the whole nine. I was over Brock Lesnar until he came back with this farmer Brock McDonald look, rocking the not the suspenders, rocking like the overalls, a
Overall, yeah.
ponytail, a flannel shirt, talking about hunting and all this shit. I was like, I get into this. And actually speaking for himself for once. I thought that was cool too. So Brock has kind of lured me back in, like not all the way, but I'm a bigger Brock fan than I've been since like he was the next big thing.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot because the last few years I'm just like, fuck, Brock again, go away.
Yeah.
At least now I'm interested in him, and I want to see if they unify these titles at WrestleMania. And you know, Devin, I do think that this will end up being a triple threat. I don't know if somehow maybe Seth gets involved too, because he said it himself. He's never actually headlined a WrestleMania. Like the only true main event he got in, he cashed in his contract and took the title during the Brock and Roman match.
Yeah.
He's never actually been in the main event, booked at WrestleMania. And so maybe they'll end up adding these guys somehow in between. We have a little bit of time between now and WrestleMania to work it out on TV, but considering they forgot about the Bobby angle with Goldberg, who knows what else they'll fucking forget leading into Mania.
What do you think about the Ronda Charlotte match?
Man, I like it, but I wanted Ronda and Becky.
Yeah.
I wanted Ronda and Becky because when they fought at WrestleMania, who took Ronda's belt? Becky.
Yeah.
Who's holding Ronda's belt right now? Becky.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So wouldn't it just make sense to have Ronda come back looking for revenge on Becky for taking her title?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also an issue with who's next for Flair, you know? Who's next? Who's the next woman up? I don't know. I mean, I would like to see Naomi, but I don't think they.
Me too. They had a great match on SmackDown a week or two ago. It was tremendous. There were points in that match where I thought maybe Naomi would win. Yeah. But
I would even want to see Rhea again. I mean, come on. That would be sweet.
Me too. But you know, it's turned into, and I feel bad saying this considering the circumstances, but like Charlotte Flair is what Cody Rhodes was. Every time somebody big name needs a big match, it's Charlotte. And you're like, oh God, no, anybody but Charlotte. Like Ronda comes back. Oh, Becky? No, Charlotte. Why?
Yeah. As much as I'm a supporter of Charlotte, I don't get where we're going here. What
is somebody commenting from your stuff?
I don't even have a YouTube page, so.
Oh, Universal Worldwide Wrestling Podcast.
It's not me. I don't have a YouTube page, so.
Sweet show. That Nick guy looks familiar.
Well, thanks,
okay,
bro.
This is getting creepy.
This is very odd. Is this you, Maddie? Maddie Daddy, cut it out.
I don't know, but it's getting creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Charlotte was Cody before Cody.
Yeah.
It was just got a match, throw her in it. She comes back, throw her in a title match, you know?
Yeah, that is true.
And I'm over it at this point. Like every time, I'm over it.
Yeah.
The story that was there before Ronda left was she wants to get back at Becky.
Yeah.
It's why she was mad at Becky when she walked in the ring on Raw and she was calling her Rebecca and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped and then she moved on to Charlotte. I don't get it. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a good match. Yeah. But between the history and then when Charlotte and Ronda were staring at each other in the Royal Rumble, it took like 8 seconds for Ronda to get her over the top rope. Just bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
She almost sent her flying like Keith Lee did against Isaiah Cassidy. Just
Yeah.
But here we are. So I'm sure it's still going to be a good match. I'm just saying I would have preferred Becky.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that too. And I just don't know what that match will be like. The Ronda and Becky. I don't know. I mean, both delivered. I mean, look what Becky did with Lita today. If she could do that with Lita, I mean, Ronda, just because she's younger and she's more athletic, I think
Yeah.
could put on a better match. Obviously, Lita is absolutely 10, 20,000 billion times better than Ronda. But I think athletic and then also
Mm.
being younger helps Ronda. And if Becky looked good today, I mean, Becky's going to look great. I just don't. I'm with you. Why not?
Yeah, and if you notice since her comeback, like Becky can put on a great match with anybody.
Yeah. So why
She had
not?
tremendous matches with Liv Morgan. She had a great match with Piper
Doudrop.
Niven at
Yeah.
I try not to say that name.
Jesus.
She had a great match with Piper at the Royal Rumble. You
Yeah.
know, she's had some matches with Bianca Belair after the 30-second screw job that were good, that were very good. So you could have put her in the ring with Ronda, and it would have been a great
Yeah.
match. I don't know why you automatically just go to Charlotte.
I don't either. I guess the last name, but still, that doesn't make sense.
If I had to take a guess, the last name is one reason. The other reason is they will do anything the Fox network tells them to do.
Yeah, put her on SmackDown. That makes sense to me.
Because Fox is the new shiny, you know?
Yeah, and Ronda has the name, and Flair has the name. That's the only thing I can think of. Obviously, the match at Mania, there is a reason why, but it doesn't make as much sense as Becky versus Ronda. But then
No.
again, who the hell cares? I mean, we're gonna get the match. It's gonna be a good match, but I, I'm critiquing here, please.
Yeah, again, I'm critiquing because like this is going to be a way better. Like I might have wanted a different match, like I did with Goldberg and Roman tonight,
Mm,
but this will be so much better than Goldberg Roman. Even
yeah,
if even if you're like this doesn't quite make sense, like the outcome is still going to be a lot better. You
yeah,
will enjoy that way more than you will enjoy Goldberg and Roman.
yeah, absolutely. I dig it. Any more uglies? I mean, the timing was great. It didn't go too long.
No, no. If anything, maybe just the way they felt like they were kind of pressing for time felt kind of ugly. Like
Yeah,
but we already discussed that a little bit too. Between the tag match getting thrown out, the men's chambers seemed to be like,
yeah. Michael Cole's voice every time there's a big event, it's always like done hour two. I
oh
just
yeah. He's always like hoarse by like
yeah,
90 minutes in, and it's a 3 hour show. It's like, good
yeah.
luck, Mikey.
Well, I mean, even Kofi's call and Be- Daniel Bryan's call, he was hoarse.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, these are big moments. I mean, I love Michael Cole. I think he's a certified Hall of
Oh
Famer.
yeah.
I think he's one of the best, and that might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm just saying, it's just funny that like
I,
hour two,
I'll admit I'm not the biggest Michael Cole guy in the world, but
of
like
course.
even for Daniel, even for the night of Kofi Mania, that WrestleMania was before the 2 nights,
Hmm.
and that show was like 6 hours long. So
Yeah,
I'll give Mike a pass for that one because he was in like hour 6 and his voice was gone. And could you blame him? He was sitting in one spot for 6 fucking hours
yeah.
talking.
How do you not piss, man? I do like a 4 hour stream, not even 2 hours, and I need to take a pisser, you know?
Right?
Yeah,
I think I haven't done more than like a 2 hour stream in a very long time. And the
yeah,
last time I did, it was this crazy like all night stream with the guys at top with a bunch of the guys at Top Rope. Like we were inviting extra people in, we were just going.
yeah,
It ended up being a 6 hour show. I think I took like 4 bathroom breaks. Now I was drinking, so there was
yeah.
that.
That makes sense. I guess
But
that's why.
Michael Cole doesn't move for 6 hours.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir.
And so, yeah, I'll give him a break for that one.
Yeah,
But you're right though. He does end up losing his voice like
yeah. It's
shortly
funny.
into the show.
Yeah,
And it's like, well, keep going, Mike. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah.
Why is that having Goldberg versus Roman at Mania just reeks so bad of desperation? It's a shame WWE put all their eggs into the baskets of two people. Well, that's not. We got Brock and Roman at this point,
Yeah,
and then jury's out as to whether or not they will add Bobby in.
yeah, yeah. I rather not see that.
Difference between Charlotte and Cody is that Cody has actually been a main eventer and won a world title. or Charlotte has
Charlotte,
actually
yeah.
been a main eventer and won a world title.
Yeah.
This is true.
You won't get any
This
hate from
is
me when it comes to Charlotte. So
this is very true. Although I'm sure we all have our thoughts on Cody Rhodes at this point.
yeah, I mean, uh, would I want to see him in the WWE? I don't know. I was never a big fan of him, and it's not because the gimmicks, because he didn't really get the best gimmicks, and if what gimmicks he did get, he did perform pretty well in when it came to like Stardust or the mask gimmick. Like it was, he did his best, but for me, I just don't like the politics. I don't like what he stands for, so I don't want to see it.
The thing about it is, and I don't know if you're going to see it the same way, so I'll leave it as a question to you.
Yeah,
Doesn't it feel like after everything he's done, Cody Rhodes like tucking tail and running back to WWE is like a backwards move for him?
yeah. I mean, his papa did it too. To be honest,
Oh, well, yeah, his papa did it, but that's because his company was bought by Vince McMahon and there wasn't really a whole lot of competition.
Yeah, but he went to TNA. He did stuff like that,
But I
But he
mean,
always
with
he always went back home. So I get it. I understand why if he does it. Cody is family. I mean, they still honor his dad twice a year. The men's and women's tag team, tournaments in NXT. So I get it. It makes sense. And if he wants to go home, then yeah.
it's just
I
like
never liked him.
it's hard for me to believe that for Cody Rhodes, WWE is home because he talked so much shit about it. And then
Well,
he
he loves
ran
it. Yeah.
around, you know, supposedly creating a revolution and then, ended up becoming one of the guys to found and build AEW, which is now, I mean, regardless of whether you like it or not, their biggest competition in the United States in wrestling
Yeah.
mainstream here. And then all of a sudden he's just going to take his ball, go home, and go back to WWE. How do you do that after all the throne breaking and trash talking and,
Yeah.
all that shit? You just walk back.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. Even his own song says he gave everything away to take his freedom, and now he's going to give everything back and lose it. That's
Yeah.
a backwards move.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that Vince, and you hear it all the time. He welcomes everybody back after a few years. I mean, I just don't know. Would I want to see it again? I don't think he's going to be if he does anything. It's. I don't know. I don't know. Is it going to be a producer role? Is it going to be another EVP? I don't think so. I don't know what's next for Cody. I just
See,
I don't
I
know.
I like Cody, but there are things that this run in AEW and the issues that popped up and now this that have proved to me about Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
He thinks he's the next Triple H. He's not, and Vince McMahon doesn't seem to be too happy with Triple H lately. Look what he's doing in
No.
NXT. He
Yeah.
thinks he's the next coming of Dusty. He's not, because Dusty was willing to basically do anything that was ever asked of him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I got to be a heel? No problem. I got to be a face? No problem. You want me to work behind the scenes? No problem. You take me off behind the scenes and put me back in the ring? No problem.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cody has basically thrown a tantrum until his contract ran out and left because Tony Khan pulled him from television and took over.
Yeah.
That's
Lost
not
his
your
booking
dad,
rights,
dude.
too,
That is totally not Dusty.
yeah. Well, I mean, he even said in his promo, he's not the best Rhodes wrestler. So I think he understands that. I think
Oh, I
he
know
gets it.
that.
Yeah, and he knows that too, and he understands that too. But it's just, yeah, you talk all this shit, and then another thing too. It's like I think the booze really got to Cody. As much as that sounds weird, because it is just, it's a show. At the end of the day, it's a
Yeah.
show, and they go home and they have families. But to say that the booze got to you, I really think Cody feels that
Well,
way.
that was the other part of what I was talking about the other night was we had started to say like Cody Rhodes is slowly becoming the John Cena of AEW because some people boo him, some people cheer him, but he just keeps doing his thing. But the difference was when John Cena would get booed, he'd let it roll off his back, come out with the shirts that said like "Rise Above It," or if The Rock called him Fruity Pebbles, and the next thing you know, he had a Fruity Pebble T-shirt with his name on it. He just went with it. It didn't bother him. Cody, on the other hand, obviously took offense.
Yeah.
And it was like, first of all, you should probably listen to your crowd, and secondly, you kind of deserve it after all this bullshit with Anthony Ogogo and the American Dream, and it just fell absolutely flat.
Well, I think that's another reason too. I think at the end of the day, a grown ass man who was booing Cena 5 or 10 years ago would say he still respects him. He just doesn't like his 5 moves of doom and him not putting over as much talent as he could. But Cody, he could just see it. I mean, even his wife, it's like, they're not boos because they don't want to see her because she's a really good heel. It's because, they don't like her. And that's not good heat. But Cena did have that for a while. He did have go home heat. Like, he had the bad heat that grown ass men, including me, did not want to see him every night,
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it just felt like he was able to take it and roll with it, whereas Cody, on the other hand, was just butthurt over it. Like, why do you not like me? I'm doing everything I can to make you like me. Why do you not like me?
Yeah, and
Cena didn't give a fuck. That was he was going to do his thing and did not give a fuck. Cody, on the other hand, sat there in the ring looking around at the crowd booing like, why don't you like me?
Yeah. I think that's it right there, Dom. I think you said it perfectly. I think even what I said, I mean, I think the boos got to him, and I don't think he can, do his best. I don't think he can transition that into good heat, because now Cena has good heat, the heat that you want. Like, even grown-ass men who booed him at the age of 40, who are now, what, like 60 or 50, they like, okay, yeah, I get it. I like it.
No, that's what like I've always prefaced anything I said about John Cena from the very beginning of his career. Like, I don't like John Cena, but I respect the hell out of him.
I'm right there. I'm in the same boat.
And when you as things progress, because I actually was a fan of Cody for a while, and then towards the tail end of his career in AEW, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And now with all this coming out and just putting the pieces together, it's like, I can't say either one. I can't say I like you that much, and I damn sure don't respect you. And
but he is a building block.
If we've learned anything from this, you're not John Cena, you're not Triple H, and you're not your dad.
Or even Goldust.
Yeah, I think even Brian said something about that. Like, Cody's not even as good as his own brother.
Yeah, well, he said that.
Brandy, he and Brandy let the crowd booing get to them like that. It's like, And if I never really watched it consistently, but like I saw clips from that reality show that Cody and Brandy did, and she was talking about like when she comes back, she's coming back as a heel. You can't come back as a heel and get booed and respond negatively. Like you can't let that crowd get to you if you're a heel. That's what they're supposed to be fucking doing.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Oh man, I know. I got to go back and watch the beginning of No Surrender. I forgot about that. I can't believe they already had Eric Young and Jay White.
Jay White is the reason why I started watching. Well, it brought me back to New Japan. Yo, but did you buy that already? How do you watch it? No Surrender.
It's on Impact Plus, so it's one of those shows that you don't have to buy. You just download Impact Plus and you can watch it.
Oh shit! I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, like if you have if you got the Fire Stick, Roku, whatever the fuck, you just find the Impact Plus app, download it, and then you're able to watch it. They ask you to verify a couple things, but you don't have to pay for it.
Oh shit! I know what I'm.
At least as far as I remember, because I'm not paying for Impact Plus and I can watch it. So
yeah, the only ones I pay for is New Japan and Peacock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here. I might have let the New Japan World lapse.
It's only $10 a month. I mean,
I know, but I had one of those things where my credit card expired and they sent me another card, but I never gave them the info, so it might have lapsed.
Yeah. Well, you got my account if you want to watch it.
I might take you up on that, bro. I got to check back and see what's going on. But Devin's back. Cody going back to WWE can be a good move. He's learned the business working for AEW. Plus, we're all speculating until he comes out with the full story. That's true. That is true. There are people saying it's a work. I'm saying, you saw the writing on the wall when you piece it all together.
This is his Instagram post story.
This is what retirement looks like. Huh.
American Dream, Cody Rhodes. Or American Nightmare, excuse me. And this was at 8:21.
Oh, so literally half hour ago, just about.
Now, breaking news from Nick Dieterding here at the Sports Syndicate podcast. Cody Rhodes is retired.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you. It is confirmed. The American Nightmare has retired.
Excuse me. This is a work. Never mind. He was in Poland. Or where was he? Portland? Poland?
He was spotted in Poland at an airport.
Poland, that's it. Maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, until the facts come out or until he actually says, like, I'm not going back, I'm done. The comment was him going back to WWE could be a good move because Cody learned the business working for AEW, and we're all speculating until he comes out with his story. Yeah. And all of that is absolute fact. Yeah. Like, we don't know that he's going back to WWE. Even yesterday, I speculated, like, he might be better off coming back for the return of ROH because they give him the backstage stuff. They push him as like one of the top stars, and they're trying to rebuild and become basically, A, what they, something more than they used to be, and B, a little bit more like AEW where they can get a little bit more mainstream attraction and generate a few more dollars. And I think Cody could do that for them.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of a good reason. I can't. I think I'm with you. ROH makes sense. They need it. I don't know. Politics, again, is probably one of the reasons why he left AEW. I understand the contract negotiations. That probably, he wanted some money, a lot of money. I get that, but you don't just he's a founding father, and you don't just say, well, I'm not going to pay you that much, you're gone. There is a reason why. Again, we don't know, but I don't know. I don't know what that position would be for Cody. But then again, like I said, Vince welcomes everybody back. They're still honoring his dad. I don't think they would say no to him, but I just don't know what that position would be. Is it going to be Cody Rhodes wrestler, Cody Rhodes, producer? I mean,
talent agent. Like, what is it? What is he looking to? Yeah. What is he looking to do, and where? Because maybe he is retired. I mean, he said it, so who knows? But we will find out in the coming months. It's just it's nice to formulate over what you've seen and what you've heard. It's definitely hard to figure out because you haven't heard much from him, and there is so much Meltzering in the world of professional wrestling. It's ridiculous. Like, everybody comes out with a story, and it's always a source said, and that source was dude's best friend in his basement. It had nothing to do with Cody Rhodes. Yeah.
And I think that's why we're in the podcast industry. I mean, we're just talking. Obviously, we don't have any sources.
Yeah, I wish I had a source in AEW or close to Cody or something like that to give you guys the information. If I did, I would.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's guys like us or guys like Devin or whatever, we get on, we give you our 2 cents, and we hope you enjoy it. And then when it all does come out, usually we'll come back and we'll inform you of this is why it happened and where he's going and, whatever the fuck else, because that's what we do.
It's just weird that now, again, I'm just going to use the word exiled, but Triple H seems to be exiled. Shane seems to be exiled. Cody coming back just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I don't know. But again, we don't know.
No sense whatsoever, to be honest. And I mean, and again, I got to shut these rumors down of like Cody's going to go to WrestleMania and take on Triple H, because if you have heard what's going on with Triple H in his heart, there is no way he's going to be at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. No way.
Well,
Like he had problems, he had complications from those problems, and heart conditions are not something that you bounce back from quickly,
no,
especially when there's complications.
and if you think about it, he probably won't wrestle again. I mean, it's serious. Anything with the heart, even if it's like a minor heart attack, like you
I mean,
still feel that for your entire life. It's
I
a
know.
setback.
I'm thinking. I don't think Triple H has actually wrestled since that debacle in Saudi where DX reunited and took on the Brothers of Destruction,
Oh God.
and Kane lost his mask, and somebody blew a hammy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a clusterfuck from the jump. At least this show was better than that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
give it that.
what was the last show? That was my favorite Saudi show out of the 7 or 8.
Oh, the one that had like Edge and Seth Rollins,
Seth,
Hell in a
yes.
Cell. Yeah, I actually that was another one. It was like weird timing because yeah, this happened to almost all of us. I had gotten COVID, so I
Yeah.
was laid out and isolated, and I'm sitting there with nothing to do. And then I remembered like, oh, Crown Jewel is going to be on today. I was like, well, fuck, I'll watch it. What
Oh,
else am I gonna
that's what it's normally called. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was trying to remember. I
Yeah.
typically call it Crown Joke because that's what it is every year.
Yeah.
But
Hey, they're
as
making.
we went through that show, I found myself
Yeah.
actually enjoying it, and I don't think I ever have.
Yeah.
Like out of all of them that they've, I don't think I ever did until that one. And Edge and Seth Rollins, Hell in a Cell, it was like a match of the year candidate.
Yeah.
It
Not to
was
me.
amazing. So, at least they're giving you something, it might not be a full show, but at least they're giving you some matches to watch on these Saudi trips that you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, I might have to tune in. Fuck.
Yeah. I mean,
Like when I heard Lita was going to be fighting in Saudi, I'll be honest, I was like, I'm watching. I
yeah.
don't care. I
I,
love Lita. I'm
I'm
watching.
I'm really. I mean, it's been like I said, 2 or 3 years with this. I don't even know if it's been 3 years. Maybe it's been a year, but it just seems like it's been way too long. I need to see Dom and Ray. I need to see what's going to happen.
That
It
swerve has to happen one of these days.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
I'm
know.
Uncle Eddie's son, Dad.
Yeah, and I know there's
My
a lot
name's
of
Dominic Guerrero.
and I know there's a lot of haters over at regarding Dom. Maybe he should have started NXT. Maybe he should have trained more. But I mean, I don't know. I'm intrigued. I want to see this. Maybe it's
I
because Ray and Eddie are one of my
gotta
favorites.
be honest. I get where people are coming from when they say like Dom should have started in NXT or got trained at the PC or whatever. But when you think about who he is and who he was around growing up,
Yeah,
he's probably been training in a ring since he was old enough to walk.
yeah,
So if he's no good now, the PC is not going to make him any better. I'm not saying that he isn't. I'm just saying if you think he's no good now,
that's a good
there
point.
is nothing they can do for him at the PC to tweak him.
That's a
Like
really
what you
good point.
see is what you get.
Yeah,
This kid is a Mysterio. Ray was taught from a very young age. I'm sure he taught his son from a very young age. I'm sure Eddie was involved.
yeah,
The whole nine. So he is what we think he is. What we're looking at right now, that's Dominic Mysterio, like the skinny kid who can pull off some cool moves and
yeah,
kind of looks the part as a professional wrestler. That's him.
yeah. Well, I think you said it there. Key words: young. This kid's young.
Mm-hmm.
Give him 5 years. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, when I don't care who you look at, whether it was like Jay White when he first came in, or even Santana and Ortiz when they first started tagging up, and you start saying they were very like scrawny, awkward guys to begin with. And
hmm
then as they grew and developed and got their body into shape and got comfortable in the ring, all of a sudden they evolved into like these amazing performers. And even if you look at Santana and Ortiz now, they look like they put on 50 pounds of muscle apiece. They're like,
yeah,
so, and that's the point. Like you're young, your body is a certain way. You're learning a craft, and then as you get older and you start realizing how to take care of yourself, how to work out, how to eat,
yeah,
how to work in the ring, all of a sudden light comes on, and boom,
yeah. That is
So
true.
we haven't even seen Ray's kid in his prime yet.
Exactly.
And so you got to give him some time. I know a lot of people when they talk about WWE and you say something bad, they say let it play out.
Yeah,
But this might actually be worth it considering the circumstances.
yeah. And it seems like Bobby Lashley suffered an injury. He's going to be out for at least something along 3 or 4 months. So
Oh, So
Yeah, maybe.
maybe that concussion thing wasn't a work.
Let's see. I think it's a legit injury. Again, excuse me. Yes, it looks like it was a. I don't know what it was, but he's out. So you know how
Okay.
they do that.
Well, that makes it does
Yeah.
make sense the way the chamber match went. Like
Yeah.
quick wrap this shit up because who knows? Maybe they had something planned where it was going to come down to Bobby and Brock, and Bobby gets hurt, and now you have to on the fly mid match come up with a new finish, and so the easiest way to go is just Brock takes everybody out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess
Yeah.
we'll pay attention to that, and we'll see if maybe Bobby's ready for WrestleMania or what happens going forward. But at least they didn't try to work you with concussion protocols and that kind of stuff, because that would have been a horrible look.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can say whatever you want about business decisions, about products, about whatever, but when you start playing around with things like concussions, at
Yeah.
least for me, that's a bad look. I've had too many concussions in the course of my lifetime to play with that shit.
Yeah. Looks like he's been hurt since Rumble. So.
Okay. Okay. Well, that sucks, but I'm at least glad,
Yeah.
at some point, I'm hoping Bobby gets back and gets into a title match,
Yeah. But then
even if
again,
it's not at
yeah.
WrestleMania because of this injury. When he comes back, I hope he comes back and he gets a title shot against whoever's holding the belt or
Yeah.
belts.
Yeah. I mean, now it makes sense why
I
what
mean,
happened.
wouldn't it be kind of cool if at WrestleMania we do a unification match and the winner gets something like the old world title?
Yeah. Goldie.
Yeah,
I
just
dig
here you
it.
go. Here's
Yeah.
the big gold. Congratulations, you're the unified champion. Like that would be sweet. Even if they brought back the old WWE Undisputed Championship that Chris Jericho got after he beat, the whole big thing. I beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night, and then he got
Yeah.
that title, and Brock ended up with it and everything. They bring that back. I'm cool with that too. I'm just sick and tired of the logo belts. Like, we get it. We know what your fucking logo is.
Yeah.
You can put that shit on the side, man. We all know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least we know, at least I can sleep well tonight knowing that Lashley didn't lose because they wanted to, you know, make it,
They
make
didn't want
Brock.
to Kofi. They didn't want
Yeah.
to Kofi Bobby, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Or at least I think what you're trying to say.
Yeah. I just, even though I think the unification was going to happen regardless, I think throughout the
Yeah.
whole day, everybody knew Brock was going to win regardless. I mean, yeah, there was an inclination maybe Lashley could get this and make it, a triple threat. But I think, 98% thought Lesnar was going
Yeah.
to.
But I mean, they could have always done a course correction. Like Brock went to day one and took on Bobby and made it a fatal 5-way because Roman had COVID. So you could have had Bobby retain if he wasn't
Yeah.
hurt. And then, swing back to, okay, we're going to have the Universal title match. We're going to have it day one, but we're going to have it at WrestleMania. And
Yeah.
Bobby's going to take on whoever, Seth or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
It just sucks that he got injured supposedly at the Rumble match. So what?
Right?
So Brock was still going to win there, right? Like, even
You
if he
would
did get
think.
injured during the match, Brock was still going to win. So I don't know. Again, we're talking about a company that is all about the works, and they work each other and the storyline, and we don't really know.
Sometimes they don't know what they're doing until after they did it. Let's be honest.
That is true. But I mean, you can if it's most likely a shoulder injury. If you think about it, look at all those suplexes.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, we're just
It does
don't
hurt
know.
going. It does hurt going to Suplex City. Ask John Cena.
Yeah.
17. 17 unanswered suplexes.
Yeah.
Jesus. My neck hurts just thinking about that. Just,
Mhm.
oh. I gotta go get a rub down, guys. I think that's about all the time we have.
Yep.
But I want to thank everybody that showed up. I can still see we got a lot of guys live and direct in the chat, and we appreciate it. This was just a spur of the moment thing, like Devin said, big surprise. Haha.
Yeah.
Now we will be back with the Sports Syndicate podcast like we always are. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll go over some stuff in the NBA. We'll recap the Super Bowl. We may talk some All-Star game. Just have some fun with it. But
Yeah.
I guess until that, first I'm going to give Nick the opportunity to plug himself because the Universal Wrestling Pod
Plug away.
is a tremendous fucking show, y'all.
Oh, wait, thank you. We got 5 stars on Apple, so
5-star rated podcast. That alone deserves one hefty round of applause if I can find it.
Well, I mean, only
there it is.
Well, after tonight, maybe I'll have a 4.9. Yeah, I got to start.
Nah, it'll affect my rating.
Yeah. So you can find us on Twitter at the UW Pod and Instagram at UW Podcast. I just interviewed this week Chris Dunn, a former creative writer. Dude, we were on for about an hour and 40 minutes, and he told me a lot of good shit. I'll spill the beans right now. I was told that Shane McMahon produced 5 Rumbles. That was not the reason why he was exiled. That is just a little. Wow. That's a little taste. 5.
No,
5 Rumbles. Yeah.
I listened to it and I was kind of like, because it's been a rough week, so I was kind of like half in, half out because I was kind of sleepy. But did you manage to tell Chris Dunn that you loved him?
Yes, but luckily that wasn't.
There was that too.
That was not recorded, so.
Oh, thank God! Yeah. Thank God. Okay.
Lord.
I couldn't remember if I heard that or if you said that because it's just been a wild week. I apologize between the podcasting and in real life. You know. Okay. Because I know I listened to it and then I remembered that and I thought, did I hear it or did he say it?
I said it because we haven't dropped it yet. Come on, man.
Okay, but I'm waiting for it to drop. I'm definitely interested. The first interview was fucking awesome, so I'm sure this one is going to be just as good.
And there's just a lot of good nuggets. Like he worked with R-Truth a lot, so I don't know, a lot of fun. You can find us on. We do have a fancy website as well, uwpod.com. You get all the access to every episode, and
Patreon free.
Yeah, I don't do that Patreon around here.
Yeah, we don't do that either. It's everybody's choice, but I feel like how am I gonna make you pay to watch or listen to episodes that I would give to you for free? Yeah, you know, like it just doesn't feel right to me. I mean, if people get away with it, go ahead, do you. It's just not me.
I don't have enough followers yet, so when I do have that, even
if I do, fuck it. Maybe I'll put up something that says like contribute to the show, or just drop a penny here and there. But like otherwise, no fucks given. Like it's out there. Watch it, enjoy it, subscribe to it, have fun.
Yeah,
I give no fucks. But yeah, again, thank you, Nikki. I appreciate you coming on. I can't wait for sports show tomorrow. And for all you wrestling fans out there, if you saw Nick or you're just tuning in, because I've seen a lot of new faces in the chat, including Michael P.S. Hayes. Holy Bad Street Batman. I can't believe that one. I've had Randy Orton and now Michael P.S. Hayes in my live chat. I feel like a big deal.
Yeah.
But
you are, Dom. You are.
Specifically for Michael P.S. Hayes, because I want to see him following us everywhere.
Yeah.
Please come follow us at Top Rope WT on Twitter. Come find us. Search Top Rope Wrestling Talk on Facebook. You're going to see the public group where we kind of chit chat with you every day, and you're going to see the public page, which is all business related. It's all podcasting all day. You can also find us at the PWI Lifetime Achievement Award winner for worst Instagram ever. It's at top_rope_wrestling_talk. And I'm so glad it came by on the ticker because I might have forgot. It's horrible and we love it. But please come follow us on the IG. Feel free to add us in your posts because plenty of people do. We appreciate it. If you haven't yet, subscribe to TRWT parentheses of Fox Den John, JAWN. Hit that, ring that bell, because when Nick and I go live tomorrow, you'll be the first ones to know.
Ding,
when
ding.
Top Rope comes back next Friday, you'll be the first ones to know. And like Michael P.S. Hayes, you can join the chat. You can come in here and say, how dare I call myself Jimmy Garvin? I can do whatever I want, Mike. My show.
Yeah. I dig it.
I'm down for a street fight.
1-on-1. The Elimination Chamber.
Me and Michael Hayes in a bingo hall in Philly. Book it.
Who was that other guy from the Universal Worldwide?
I don't know, dude. That was creepy. He looked. It looked like your logo and everything, and I can't find it now.
Well, you know the deal. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, we will be back tomorrow. Until then, everybody stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy No Surrender if you do happen to be catching it later or you're watching it now and you're listening to us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow for the Sports Syndicate, hopefully. Catch you later, folks.
Peace.